Good evening. These are the stories making the headlines in the Hot 7 Nightly News. A Vieux Fort man is nursing injuries after a gunman opened fire on him on Thursday morning. The gaming lottery scandal intensifies following an internal audit that may likely end in criminal charges. And Dr. Ernest Hilaire does some dissecting. We have the details of these stories and more coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovely and Amy Joseph.
It is Thursday, the 24th of January 2019. Welcome to the Hot 7 Nightly News on Flow Channel 117 and simulcast on Kiss FM 105.5 and 105.9. I am Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. Jamil Pierre has been identified as the Vieux Fort man who was shot this morning in the community of Bruceville. Residents reported hearing multiple gunshots ring out sometime after 8 a.m. It is reported that Pierre received multiple gunshot wounds about the body. He was transported to the St. Jude Hospital where he is receiving treatment. In other news, talk of fraud, money laundering and bogus tickets now surround the gaming lottery scandal that emerged during the Christmas season in 2018. Hot 7 TV reached out to Cage St. Lucia, and although no one wanted to make a statement to our cameras, we were provided with a letter addressed to the chairman of the National Lottery Authority. In the letter, Cage St. Lucia tells of the finding of an internal audit that it carried out to ensure the legitimacy of the numerous winning tickets at the Dennery location. Solange Alfred tells us more.
We're standing outside of Cage St. Lucia headquarters, where in an effort to ascertain further information in regards to a video lottery scandal that took place during the Christmas season, we were handed a 3-page dossier. In this letter, Cage St. Lucia identifies the reason why the monies were not forthcoming to the winners. Cage stated that an internal audit had to be done to ensure that there were no cases of money laundering or suspicious transactions. The internal investigation revealed through a preliminary determination that there were acts of fraud and possible money laundering at the Metro Place location, in that some of the tickets presented by certain players and the agent were in fact not produced by valid play at Metro's Place and will not be paid. Cage has also reached a determination that further investigation is warranted to support its referral of the entire matter to the St. Lucia Police Department for the bringing of possible criminal charges against certain individuals involved in what Cage has determined was a criminal conspiracy to defraud the St. Lucia National Lottery Authority of financial assets to which the perpetrators were not entitled. A reliable source of the company has informed Hot 7 News that the ticket winners who have won legitimately have received half of their winnings so far. Cage looks to ensure members of the public that it will continue to offer its loyal patrons the very best results possible as they participate in the state-of-the-art video lottery gaming experience. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
Thank you, Solange. Bus owners say there are serious questions to be answered by the President of the National Council on Public Transportation about the cash received by drivers as part of the $1.1 million fuel rebate from the government. President of the Dennery Minibus Association, Francis Edmonds, says permit holders need to see in black and white what the NCOPT is allocating thousands of dollars from the fuel rebate toward. The NCOPT negotiated the rebate on behalf of its members, securing the $1.1 million payout, which was disbursed among 1,300 bus operators. Each operator received $800. The little over $48 charged as a negotiating and processing fee is what is in dispute. Edmonds says it may sound like chump change, but every cent adds up.
Well, quite frankly, in my capacity representing my association, the consensus is that we're not in agreement with the amount of money disbursed to members. Because it's $800 was given to each permit owner. Right, and when you make the calculations, 1.1 million being given to the NCOPT, when you divide that by $1,400 buses or 1,400 permits, it amounts to the exact amount is $846.15. Let's not forget the 15 cents, because when you make the addition with the 15 cents, if you disregard the 15 cents, that means you're disregarding $195. And every penny counts, especially when you're doing accounting. All right? So with that now, with $800 being given to each permit owner, that means the NCOPT is getting $59,995. That is the exact amount that they are keeping.
The president of the Leclerc Minibus Association, Fabian Daisy, noted that his members also want answers, but he says they are open to dialogue with the NCOPT and will address their concerns to the General Council.
Based on our calculations, we believe that there are discrepancies, but we do not want to address it with the media first. We want to address it with National Council, and based on what happens with that meeting with National Council, we are going to take steps about it.
The president of the NCOPT, Godfrey Ferdinand, spoke to Hot 7 News. He says the matter will come up at the General Council meeting.
Whatever matter that is to deal with money and that of the National Council, it will be addressed at the General Council meeting, which is slated for February. In the February General Council, there will be a financial statement. But I also want to state that some of the associations that have raised the issue, it has been explained to them. Obviously, they are not satisfied with the explanation. So at the General Council meeting, which should be our business, not the business of the public, we will deal with these issues.
The NCOPT is still in negotiations with the Transport Minister as it relates to a minibus fare review. Minister for Tourism Dominic Fede says he wants to see not only an upgrading of infrastructure, but also an upgrading of the mindset of players within the tourism industry. He says the issue of tourists receiving the same destination experience throughout the islands of the Caribbean must be addressed. Solange Alfred reports.
Visitors to St. Lucia can have an extremely unique experience, as the island boasts some features that cannot be found elsewhere. However, some have argued that in regards to the vending experience for visitors, it is simply déjà vu, with products that show a lack of originality. Minister for Tourism Dominic Fede assures that strategies have been put in place to help vendors establish a more one-of-a-kind vending experience for tourists. He says that if an idea or item is not successful, then energy should not be wasted on it.
We have trained 200 vendors. I'm saying that we are working closely with our partners in the Vendors Arcade and also in the craft market to make sure that we give them the best opportunity to yield more results from the tourists that are passing through. It's a strategy. I mean, in my former life, it was an all-inclusive environment, but every department had a revenue target. And when an item wasn't selling, you cease to sell it and you try something else.
According to Minister for Tourism Dominic Fede, a wider net needs to be cast with a focus on creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurial skills, not solely for vendors, but also for other players within the tourism industry.
Craft and souvenirs is just a small component of that business. We have to also think of our traditional foods, our traditional beverages, our cultural, our heritage events. I mean, there are 3 cruise ships in the harbor. Can someone learn anything right now about our carnival? The answer is no, because we haven't showcased anything. And so these are some of the things that we need to start thinking. We have to start thinking like a destination.
Even with her spectacular natural attributes, it is agreed that what truly sets St. Lucia apart from any other destination are her people, who hold vast creativity and are willing to go the extra mile. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News. When we come back, tourism figures are put under the microscope. The Boys Training Center celebrates a significant milestone by one of its wards. And Star Power is coming to the 2019 Prime Minister's Independence Ball. Stay with us.